Geek Out!
The day after the events of the last installment, Jason's body is transported to a local morgue. There, he reawakens, kills a doctor and nurse, and escapes back to Crystal Lake. At the same time, a group of vacationing friends move into the house next door to the Jarvis family. They all then become the focus of Jason's wrath as he stalks both groups and a lone camper who seems to have his own ulterior motives for his presence at Crystal Lake. Who will be left standing in this final chapter? Well, everyone, welcome to another installment of The Long Night at Camp Blood, a Geek Out Friday the 13th retrospective, the longest title for a podcast that I've ever had. Today we are talking about Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. And special guest co-host in the studio today, he is the dead fuck, Jake Bozek.
That's true. The dead fuck indeed.
So thank you for coming on. I remember when I started talking about this, you were one of the first people to actually call dibs on a movie.
Yes.
A lot of people were just like, "Oh yeah, I'll help out. Just tell me which one you want. You want me to do." You were like, "No, final chapter.
This one.
That's me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of it, and I'm sure we'll dive into it because we kind of talked a little bit about it off mic, but it's funny because rewatching the movie with you, which we just did as a refresher. I think we did that with Lethal Weapon for Lethal Weapon 4.
I watched all four of
That's
the
true,
Lethal
yeah,
Weapons with you.
That's partly why I did it.
Yeah.
But also a lot of
just
the
reasoning, to keep the part 4 going.
Yeah, yes. A lot of the reasoning. Yeah, that's true. A lot of the reasoning why I chose this one, not even necessarily was for the movie. It was for the guy who played Jason. Yeah, because he's like my favorite Jason.
He's a damn good Jason, and I have it in my notes later. We'll talk about some interesting things about him on set. But yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Like he's out of all four so far.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I've actually gone like really in depth. Like I feel bad because right now I can't remember her name, but the woman that played Pamela Voorhees, like I looked into her a little bit too because I was like, oh, why is she said, like, was she famous before this? And she was hella famous.
Yes.
Before Friday the 13th. But like this guy, I went into looking stuff up on him, and there's some pretty interesting facts.
Well, I mean, like stuntmen are like super the unsung heroes
for
of
sure.
Movies, super the unsung heroes. But
it's the name of our
super the unsung heroes. The stunts in this one are pretty spectacular, not just Jason stunts. There's a TV to the head that's pretty hardcore. But so yes, I've always, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a stuntman. Yeah. Like that was, I thought that was so cool.
When I was living in New York, I worked with a stuntman, like he his day job, and I was always like, "Hey man, how do I break into the industry?" And he was like, "Oh, you just got to go do this." And I was like, "Well, can you tell me where that's done?" He was like, "No." And I was like, "Dick."
Well, I remember like in MGM, they had the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular, which was my favorite thing in the world. And then they had the lights, camera, action, I think, like where I learned about how, I was telling this to somebody recently, how like a lot of the crazy like reverse driving scenes are done with them just driving back. Like they are like,
they have a driver in the trunk. Yeah.
But like just the stunts are amazing. And I've always been like, they should really have an Oscar for best stunts.
They really should.
I mean, I honestly thought Mad Max was going to push that over the edge.
Yeah.
But no, all the stunts in the Friday the 13th movies in general are pretty intense. And like I'm sure we'll talk about as we dive more into the movie, some of these kids, these actors had to turn in themselves into amateur stunt men and women. So pretty insane.
Yeah. So let's do a quick run through of the plot.
Okay.
So like I said in the little blurb at the beginning, so this just like the last one takes place literally the next day after the previous movie. So parts 2, 3, and 4, 3 days.
Yeah, almost its own trilogy.
Yeah, thereabouts. I think they technically all take place over 2 days themselves, but basically they're all one right after the other. And so we start out. Jason's getting carted off to the morgue after being chopped in the head with the axe in the previous movie, and we see the skeeziest of morgue doctors. I guess he's a doctor.
We'll call him Dr. V-neck.
Yeah, because that was a deep V.
Deep V, a lot of chest hair.
If that V had been any deeper, he would have been in Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah. But no, it's super skis.
Yeah.
Doing something I've never liked on movies where he's just eating like a psychopath.
Mm-hmm. While handling dead bodies.
Well, yeah, while handling dead bodies, which I guess is like, hey, this guy's got a character thing. He's got a tick.
Yeah. He's so used to being around dead bodies, he can do anything.
Yeah, and we were debating. I think it's like a bagel with a lot of cream cheese.
Yeah. To me, it looks kind of like a sandwich, maybe with the crust cut off.
Or like a chicken salad or tuna sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, but
either way, those two things would be nothing would be good to eat around dead bodies. Mm-hmm. But I feel like tuna sandwich would be like the worst thing to eat, like one of the worst things to eat around dead bodies. You know, I don't know. It'd be pretty gross.
Yeah. So and of course he's gross.
Mm-hmm.
He's
a gross
watching.
man.
He's watching videos.
Yes.
Which fun fact? You saw one of the
ladies.
Yeah,
the lady starring in the aerobicize, I guess, exercise video went on to play. I think Nikki. Mm-hmm. Is it possibly in I think Jason 6 or Friday the 13th Part 6, which is kind of cool.
Jason Lives.
Yeah,
which is cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's fun. Fun fact.
You know, you gotta do what you can, man.
Yeah,
gotta bring something to the table.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, she is not the first nor the last actor or actress to do that kind of jump from like random small character to important character later on. But yeah, so skeezy doctor and poor unfortunate nurse who was just caught in his crosshairs.
Yeah.
Jason wakes up, dispatches both of them, which fucking kills him in a very metal way.
I'm gonna say, like, I know you have like best kill, worst kill.
Yeah.
I would say in terms of like prosthetics and gore, which of course is what people want in these slasher films. Yeah. This would be the best kill then if you're going by that.
Yeah, no, easy at the very least, easy contender for best
kill.
Yes,
I would say my favorite later on is probably no one would have it on their list, but this is the I would say the best kill in the movie is this one. Unfortunately, it's the first one.
Yeah,
and it's kind of followed up by a fairly weak one.
Yeah, pretty tame, especially in the context of a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, I would not worst kill though.
No. And then, so he runs off. He escapes the morgue, the hospital, probably.
Yeah.
And heads on back to Crystal Lake, where Crispin Glover and friends are decided to take a weekend, go to the lake.
Yeah.
Probably drink, do drugs, and have premarital sex, because that's what they do.
They never learn.
Nope. You never go to Crystal Lake to do all that shit.
That's the worst possible thing you can do.
So they go. They meet the Jarvises, which is a household of Corey Feldman, plus sister and mom, and dog Chef Gordon Ramsay. Yep. And hilarity ensues.
Is this what launches Corey Feldman, or he had done stuff before?
I think he had already done stuff. Like he hadn't done Goonies yet.
Yeah, because I know that like Stand By Me is later.
Yeah,
86. I was looking that up.
This is early on in his career.
Yeah,
I didn't do the proper research of checking to see how early on in his career.
Okay,
but I feel like he already had.
He was getting the ball rolling.
Yeah, he already had much like Crispin Glover, very early on in his career, but was a bit of a name.
Okay.
But yeah, like Crispin Glover hadn't done Back to the Future yet. That was the following year. Corey Feldman hadn't done Goonies or Stand By Me yet. That was within the next handful of years. I doubt that he had met Corey Haim yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because he probably would have been in this movie.
Yeah. which I guess means that he didn't know him until after Stand By Me, because Corey Haim's in neither Goonies nor Stand By Me.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. We should cast Death of Superman. As a quick reference to the Lethal Weapon show that we did.
Oh, yeah.
But so they meet up, and then the vacationing kids decide to go skinny dipping with two random twins that they found.
Although we did skip a death.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
The banana death, which I feel like this movie has two of the more
iconic.
I wouldn't say the banana death's iconic, but like the first death, the spinning the head around, is super iconic.
Oh yeah.
It's
definitely talked about.
Yes, look at YouTube. They have this great list of like the best Jason kills, best Freddy kills, best Michael Myers kills.
Mm-hmm.
The V-neck Dr. V-neck head spin death is up there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say is one of the best kills around.
Yeah.
in Jason lore, Friday the 13th lore. The banana kill is just like awkward and gross.
Yeah.
Like just like the drooling
Yeah.
bits of banana, because you get the hitchhiker who has no lines.
Nope.
But still drops an F-bomb with the sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's stabbed through the throat.
Yep. Back to the throat.
The classic. There's a lot of that impaling. I mean, that's kind of like the thing. But like with like the spear through the throat, and then she has like the gross banana dripping out, and then
like
squeezes.
Probably the worst part is that she squeezes the banana so that it looks like the banana rind is pooping out.
Yeah,
the rest
it's a waste
banana.
of a banana.
Yeah. Wasteful.
Jason should have stepped on it.
And then whoop.
Yeah, woo. He
Slipped
falls
on
down.
The old banana
He's
peel.
like, God damn it.
It just has that.
Yeah, but I think some people might say this is one of the better kills just because of that imagery, I guess.
Yeah.
And I've seen it around on like
That's
people
fine.
who are like big time Jason people. But that is because we have to basically, that keeps us going in terms of like deaths for a while,
for almost half an hour.
Yeah, a whole episode of Frasier.
Yeah, because Grant, I've mentioned it before, but yeah, so you like these Friday the 13th movies, they'll have their cold open, and that'll have a kill or two, and then like they'll have kind of a lull where you'll get like one or two deaths sporadically, and then like the last half hour or so is just like death.
Yes,
lunch, death.
Yeah.
And this one, I gotta say, is probably the driest of dry spells in terms of deaths.
Yes,
or at least that we've come across so far.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a good half hour, and then there's like it's still another good like 10-15 minutes until the next one, if I remember correctly. I have it written down. I'll look at my notes later. So after that, skinny dipping with the random twins.
Yes.
And then a party ensues at the vacation house.
Mm-hmm.
People pair off.
Yep.
Some people go have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go off and die. And then more death and more death.
Yeah.
And then Corey Feldman saves the day.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go into more detail.
I mean, so I would say like in terms of like kills in this, the kills are pretty good like overall.
Yeah.
I will say right now, worst kill I think by far in the movie is I guess supposed
just so
to be.
I usually save that to the end.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, like
we'll
I go through like rapid fire, lightning round.
We'll save it to the end.
Yeah.
But the kills overall though are pretty good.
Yeah.
In terms of like gore and special effects.
I did want to bring up Teddy's death scene. He's the shithead who's watching the porn movie.
Yes.
The reel-to-reel porn movie by himself. His death scene is referenced in Scream with Jamie Kennedy's character, while Jamie Kennedy's character, I forget what his character's name is sitting alone on the couch at Sydney's house watching Halloween, and he's like, no, Jamie, look behind you. Jamie, look behind you, which is hilarious because then on screen within the movie that he is in, the killer is right there, and he's saying Jamie as in Jamie Lee Curtis because it's Halloween, but he himself is Jamie as in Jamie Kennedy.
Very clever.
Very clever. That Wes Craven, he's layered like onions.
Oh yeah.
But so is that. I don't know. Are there some good noteworthy events that you want to bring up, talk about?
I mean, the dancing.
That's
the classic.
The dancing to not the song that's in the movie.
Correct.
Although I don't think knowing the actual movie helps, but he. So do you remember the name of the movie that's in that we hear
the song
as the moviegoers? Yeah, the
Love
song.
Is a Lie.
Love Is a Lie.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right. On set, he's dancing to Back in Black.
Back in Black.
Yeah,
AC/DC.
still doesn't make sense.
Which is very new at that point.
Yeah.
I believe it came out in '84, so that is like a fresh hit.
Yeah. Probably could not procure the rights to it. I didn't
Probably
see
not.
any references to it in my research.
Although, like, the jerking makes it. I mean, it's still. I mean, it's out of control. And supposedly that's, I guess, that's how he danced.
Yeah.
In clubs.
Yeah. But yeah. But yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, again, in terms of like Friday the 13th movies, it doesn't break the mold. It's pretty It's pretty much the same old thing. I've said before, like in terms of like favorite Friday the 13th movies, like if we're including the reboot, obviously for me, we've said it before. The reboot for me is king, and I know some people are like, "Fuck you, get off this podcast," but it is my favorite's still the reboot.
Yeah.
But in terms of classic, this is up there. One of the reasons why is because it has a great cover.
Yeah,
super striking.
Oh
cover.
Yeah, the hockey mask and the
blood.
Knife.
Great cover.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's like one of my favorite movie posters of all time. It's just perfect, no bullshit. I will say, in terms of like Jason face, the reveal, not one of my favorite Jason faces.
No,
I mean, like, it's okay. His death is pretty great.
Yeah. Pretty fucking metal.
Yeah,
so let's go over the death a little bit. So
okay.
At this point, Jason's basically killed off everyone except for Corey Feldman, Tommy, and his sister Trish, and they're running around the house. Trish is trying to distract Jason to let Tommy escape. Tommy, master of makeup.
Yes. That's something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, has like the dream room.
Yeah.
For kids or horror fans.
Yeah, lots of cool horror masks and like puppetry shit. And we find out that he's made all of them himself.
Yes.
He's some sort of savant when it comes to mask building,
he's some
car
sort
repair.
Of Savini.
Tom
Savini. Oh shit! Breaking new ground.
I mean, it's referenced in my notes too, but so master of makeup,
yes,
mask shits,
yes,
car repair,
yeah,
electricity because they have him fix the lights,
yeah, and also like shaves his head faster than anyone on the planet. I mean, he's got some chunks there, but like he gets deep. I mean, there's no, he shaves his entire, almost most of his head.
Yeah,
that is one of the more striking things from the movie. For me,
seeing him without hair,
his look and like the pop collar, and he just checks out.
Yeah.
But I wish, and I was telling you this at the beginning, and this is honest to God, I wish he wore the alien head the whole movie. Just they don't even talk about it. Just him, with the hat and the alien head.
He just is an alien.
He's just an alien.
I'd be okay with that.
It's a great look. It's a great mask.
It's kind of rushed in the movie proper, but basically it's kind of a throwback to part 2, where I forget the character's name, but she puts on Mama Voorhees' sweater.
Right, the sweater, yeah.
To do some like some psychology on him.
Yeah.
Tommy is basically doing the same thing, but instead of being like, "Look, it's me, your mother," he's going, "Look, it's me, you."
Yeah, it's me, you.
From 10 years, it's me, you.
It's enough for him, because Jason's all out. He's all kinds of nuts,
and very uneducated.
Yes. So
mind of like a 6-year-old, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, so that distracts Jason enough that Trish gets a wallop on him, but effectively only takes off his mask, which bothers me.
Yeah,
because I'm in the camp of like, once he puts that mask on, I want him to keep it on. Like, I don't like the whole
it's become the reveal thing.
Yeah.
There's very, and you know me with masks. There's very few Jason reveals. maybe any, then I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, again,
I feel like the one in part 3 is just a waste.
Yeah, I'm not ripping on like the prosthetics and stuff because it's all great, but like I don't need to see. I know most fans like they want to see the face, and it's always different, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But for me, unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't need to see the face. I think that was more of a sign of the times, though, because like you had the reveal of the monster.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine, I get it.
Yeah, you got to reveal the face, and it's a huge difference from 3.
Mm-hmm.
3
just kind of looks like a guy that got smacked with a 2x4.
Almost looks like the guy from Hills Have Eyes, like a very jacked up version of that, obviously. But yeah, he just is like, hey, peekaboo, and then puts the mask back down.
Yeah, it's amazing that his face changed so much in about 24 hours.
A lot. Yeah.
But yeah, so then
it does, though, if you think about it, it does revert back to the look of the first Jason more, like a more decayed, zombified version of OG Jason, which is kind of like the bigger head, the teeth sticking out, and like the lopsided eyes. Like it does go back to that a little bit more.
Yeah, and this was to use a phrase that I don't really care for, but this was kind of like Tom Savini's swan song for Jason. Yeah, because like as far as everyone was concerned in production, this was it. Like they called it the final chapter because they were like, we are done. Yeah. Put a fork in it. Yeah.
Put a machete in it.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Throw some G's on it.
Yeah.
So I think Tom Savini was like, I'm gonna go all out for this one.
Some great effects.
Yeah. And then the fucking hit Jason sliding down on the machete at the end.
Well, it's like still kind of like bubbling and
just
also the knife through the hand, machete through the hand.
Oh yeah, I audibly went like
hands are always very like a no-go. Like you know, like someone getting stabbed, like a guy gets stabbed in the dick.
Yeah.
And like lifted off the ground, you're like, "Oh yeah." But like I think the ultimate example for me for like, "Oh Jesus," that's off the top of my head in terms of hand damage is in the Evil Dead the remake where he gets hammered.
Yeah.
And then that's fucked up. But yeah, the hands are always very not so cool.
Yeah. I think it's because they're so important.
There's multiple hand trauma in this.
Yeah, because Crispin Glover gets a corkscrew to the hand.
Yeah, and then he gets like stuck crucified style to the wall, and then you see Jason it's such a great little touch, just rip his hand like he's got the nail or whatever in his hand, just rips his hand off and you just see it tear through to get him out of the way. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
So yeah, that's the long form summary, I guess, of the thing. Now let's get into some boring production notes and whatnot. Feel free to chime in with any anecdotes that you might have, since this is the part where I go solo with my research. So this movie was released on April 13th, 1984, making it only the second movie of the series to be released on a Friday the 13th. First one being the last one, and I think I forgot to mention that in the last episode. But yeah, so part 3 and part 4, Friday the 13th.
At the time of this, that's what, 8 days away? Almost a week away?
Yeah.
Of the anniversary?
We are almost at the, what is that? The
33rd?
33rd? That feels right. 33rd anniversary? Yeah. Yeah, 33rd
and close to your birthday.
Yeah.
That always is funny because, like, during the Kiss podcast, that would happen sometimes where I'd be releasing it, it'd be coming out on on the anniversary of it, maybe not, or recording.
Yeah, I remember that. Didn't that happen with Lick It Up?
It might have happened to Lick It Up. I think it might have happened on Love Gun too, around there.
Yes, yes. I remember. Like just being here with you recording. I think it was Love Gun, and I just happened to like look down at my phone right before you started recording, and like saw a little notification that it was the like 30th anniversary of Love Gun or something like that. Oh, how neat!
Who knew, man? Who knew?
So that makes it that's about 1.5 years since the release of Part 3, which oddly enough was also the approximate span of time between the release of Part 2 and Part 3.
Yeesh.
Again, Paramount Studios, because as we all remember, Paramount owns Friday the 13th until Jason Goes to Hell. That's the first one that's not Paramount. Runtime on this one, 91 minutes, which is 4 minutes shorter than the previous installment. Written, it is credited to writing, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but it's credited to, writing is credited to Barney Cohen, who, you might be interested in this. I did a little research on him. Mm-hmm. He wrote an episode of He-Man, the cartoon series from 1983.
Excellent.
And he was heavily involved with the Melissa Joan Hart live-action Sabrina the Teenage Witch show.
Oh. Two shows dear to my heart.
Yeah, yeah. It was produced by Frank Mancuso Jr., the producer who, I think, for all three of the previous movies. Mm-hmm. Definitely has been a producer for multiple ones.
Okay.
And I believe this is his last one.
It was the final chapter. Right?
Yeah. Directed by Joseph Zito. This is his first and only foray into the series. Filmed in Topanga Canyon and Newhall, California. Newhall, the same city that they filmed the last one in. So this is their second venture out to the West Coast. Budget was $2.6 million, which only $0.3 million more than the last movie. So they had been making like leaps and bounds for the previous ones, because like the first installment was like barely $1 million or something like, or it was a couple $100,000. Mm-hmm. And then they jumped up to like $1 million and then $2 million.
Yeah.
And now still just two something.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, it ended up grossing less than the previous installment anyway.
Interesting.
Because it only raked in $33 million, which
still
a pretty penny, but
profit.
$3 million fewer than
That's
part
weird
3.
to me, and it's not because I necessarily think that the final chapter is like an amazing movie, mm-hmm. or even necessarily like amazing in the series of Jason,
mm-hmm.
but you would think the the gimmick of it being the final chapter would have given it that boost it needed.
Well, one of the reasons, and it's in the first bit, the next bit of notes here, so I'll go ahead and start talking about it. So originally, the series was intended to be just a trilogy, mm-hmm. But part 3 made so much money that Paramount was like, well, let's go ahead and try for another one. And so Mancuso is like, well, all right, fine, we'll do another one, but I'm really tired of being associated with like the horror, the slasher genre. I don't like it. People aren't respecting me. And also, markets had shown that the slasher movie was starting to taper off, to peter out.
Yeah.
So those two things came together, and they were like, all right, you know what? We'll do this one, but this is going to be the end of it. We're going to kill Jason. No more Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
So Mancuso hires Zito to direct and write it. But Zito, for whatever reason, had decided to secretly hire Barney Cohen to work with him, and used the fact that he was getting double salary for being both writer and director to pay Cohen what he would have gotten as the writer. Their process included a regular hour-long phone call to Philip Scuderi, Scuderi. I'll go with that.
Okay.
Who took me a while to research and be like, why do I remember that name? And I forget how much I talked about it in the first installment, but Scuderi was part of this group of financiers to get the first movie made. It was like the producer and writer for the first movie, and then a couple other people and a group of theater owners. And Scuderi was one of the theater owners. So Scuderi would get a phone call from Zito and talk for an hour, and then Zito and Cohen would sit and write the pages from that phone call. Ultimately, this got them in trouble with the Writers Guild, or because of the weird way that it all worked out. Mm-hmm. Cohen is credited as being the writer, either because of or that led to issues with the Writers Guild. I think like Cohen probably wasn't officially part of the Writers Guild or something like that. It was kind of hazy, very poorly written when I was reading it, and it didn't link to any like facts about what actually happened. So whatever, it's a crazy way to write a movie.
Yeah,
just hire a writer. So this movie is the first movie in the series to be written to have two survivors. Now, people might be like, "Hey, wait a second! I remember Part 2 had two survivors. Paul made it back," and you're misremembering that because that's just because of the retconning of Part 3 where they say that Paul survived. In the actual script for Part 2, Paul is supposed to die at the end. It's lame and he dies off screen.
Paul is dead, man.
Exactly. That's where it came from. That's what started it.
It started it, yeah. Even though the Beatles had been done for like 20 or 10 plus years.
Yeah. So yeah, we get two survivors, one male, one female. The male being a child. So this is like crazy. Like, oh my God, kids. Yeah. And like they did, Cohen and Zito and Scuderi, I guess, all did this because they really wanted to have like survivors that you legitimately were supposed to be like rooting for them to survive. Because so far in the series, they've just been dumb co-eds.
Yeah,
you're like, co-eds. let's have a sweet little family, and we'll have Corey Feldman. Everyone loves Corey Feldman except Jake. So like that was supposed to add a little bit of drama that was supposed to help, close it all out.
Yeah.
And then there's also like parallels between Tommy and Jason because Tommy doesn't have a dad. His mom dies. That's right. His mom died off screen. We didn't even talk about that while we were watching
pretty
it.
lame.
Yeah. Because they, if I remember, I don't even remember seeing her body.
No.
Yeah. But whatever. And he's also a fucking weirdo, and he shaves his head.
Yeah.
To look like him.
Yeah.
And then as we mentioned earlier, Tommy is very much an homage to Tom Savini.
Yeah.
So fun fact about casting. So as I was telling you while we were watching it, Camilla Moore, one of the twins in the film, originally auditioned for Samantha, the girl who dies in the raft.
Yes.
But after filmmakers discovered that she had a twin sister.
A sister.
Who had appeared in Double Mint gum commercials with her.
Of course.
They decided to hire her on to be, or hire both sisters on to be the twins that we see in the movie. Now, granted, I don't know if they wrote that because they were like, oh, twins, let's put twins in here, or if they actually had twins in the script.
It was probably,
originally.
let's just write twins in.
Yeah. Oh, we want to see two girls that look the same be naked skinny dipping.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. That's the Friday the 13th.
Yeah. And her twin sister, Carrie, only had to read one line of dialogue for her audition, which is fitting because she only has like 2 lines in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Peter Barton, who plays Doug. Which one's Doug? Is that the camper?
I think it's Doug.
I think Doug's the camper. As much as I enjoyed this movie, it was so hard to keep track of who was who. Although at the same time, all of these movies are kind of hard to keep track of.
My thing
who's
is
who.
too, this might have been very easily explained in the movie and I just wasn't paying attention at this moment. But
oh no, he's the one, he's the shower. I have a list. I have a list of the deaths.
Okay, the guy that
Rob is the camper.
The guy that should have been like the leading man.
Yeah,
like the leading man looks.
Mm-hmm.
Goes out hard.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So Trish and Tommy go to the lake, and Tommy sees the skinny dippers, and Trish is like, no. And they yell out Trish.
Yeah.
Do they all know each other?
Well, they had met.
They had met earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had their meet. They had their meet cute before.
That's what I thought, but I totally didn't remember that.
For a hot second, well, I had the same thought process go through my head. I was like,
they're just like school buddies.
How did they know?
Yeah.
But then I remembered, oh no, there was a scene.
That's what I figured, but I couldn't remember their...
We got so distracted by them walking through the forest and that fake out death for the one girl while she was walking backwards, and we were like, that's what you get for walking backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had happened shortly, very shortly.
I thought either that or they were like all school buddies and like they knew about the place because they were buddies.
No, that happens in part 3.
Of course.
But so Peter Barton, who played Doug, the shower death scene guy, originally hadn't wanted to be in the movie because he didn't really like horror movies. He had been in this movie Hell Night, and he was like, "Nah, it wasn't that fun. I don't want to do it." But he was friends with Amy Steele, whom listeners might remember as the actress who played Ginny in Part 2, The Survivor. They had worked together on a sitcom. I think the sitcom that is the reason why Amy Steele didn't come back for Part 3. And she was like, "Oh no, it was fun. I enjoyed being in the horror movie. You should do it." And he's like, "All right, fine, I'll do it, and I'll get my head crashed in and almost get a concussion from doing my own stunt." We'll talk about that later. And then, of course, Tom Savini agreed to come back because he was like, "Hey, I helped create this character. I want to be able to kill him off."
Yeah.
So filming, very rush job. 6 weeks.
Jeez.
That's it.
Well, I mean, these films have an insane turnaround.
That's true. Typically, they do not have a very long production. But while I was doing that research, I was like, damn, when I made my zombie movie that was only like 30 minutes long, like that was about 4 weeks of production. And I was like, these guys did a 90-minute movie in 6 weeks. And filming, granted, it was a cumulative 6 weeks because production did take place over October 83 to January 84. Now, if anyone's clever, they heard that and they're like, whoa, that means they had a really short post-production because, movie came out in April of 84, the 4th month of the year, January being the 1st. This is because originally it was meant to come out in October of 84, but executives at Paramount were watching, the screeners or the dailies or whatever, and they were like, "This is so good, we need it to come out on the first Friday the 13th of the year, not the last." So they rented a Malibu house for so that they could get together and they didn't have to ship anything anywhere. They could just boom edit it right there in California where they were filming it, and I guess the studio added to the budget to pay for the Malibu house and all the food that was brought from the studio, so they could take care of it all there. And in so doing, the theatrical version is actually quite a bit different. Not a whole lot of different, but there's several things that were trimmed out for the theatrical presentation. Just because they were trying to trim everything down, and didn't really get the normal once over to make sure everything's cool and cohesive. So things were later restored into the movie for TV airings, and I assume the DVD releases and home video releases and stuff like that. And speaking of tough set, because of the rushed production, also Zito seemed to not get along with the cast too well. So the actress Jodie Aronson, who got the part for Samantha, the raft girl, developed hypothermia after being forced to stay out in the lake and in the raft the entire time they were filming that scene. Never allowed to come back out to shore. Probably didn't even get a towel to dry off because
which makes no sense because she's in there for the kill shot, and then she's in there for the reveal to the boyfriend that she's dead. They don't need, you know what I mean? Seems weird to me. It
stinks of amateur director. And I should have checked. To see how much Zito had.
What's
done.
funny? I was looking when you were introducing all of the background stuff. I think he has 10 movies under his belt, and one of them is Invasion USA with Chuck Norris.
Ooh, don't you own that?
I don't.
Or no, Ken owns that. Ken bought one of the last episodes of Laserdiscs. He was talking about how he just bought it.
I remember. I think he was texting you or something because he was out buying laser discs. And,
how fun. And then as I had mentioned earlier, Barton, the shower death, he had to do his own stunt there where Jason runs his fist through the glass screen and slams his head into the back wall. Nearly gave him a concussion. He did not enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
So all of this all of the that and like a whole bunch of other things, Corey Feldman being like a little shit on set and everything, culminated in Tom White, the actor who portrayed, or I'm sorry, Ted White, not Tom, the actor who portrayed Jason in this particular film, threatening to walk off set and quit his role.
Can't have Jason leaving, man.
And well,
that's how the final chapter ends. He just leaves.
just they play the sad Hulk music.
Yeah.
So Zito, being crunched for time, didn't want to have to hire a new stuntman to play Jason. Decided, did what he could to satisfy to Mr. White. And so like the set kind of calmed down, but it was still so bad that White demanded that that his name be left off the movie.
Dang.
And he's not credited as Jason. In fact, he does not get credit for playing Jason until Part 7, when I believe in the credits it mentions him and archival footage from the recapping of previous installments of Friday the 13th. So I'm going to rattle off a couple fun facts about Ted White.
Mm-hmm.
So he was almost 60 years old when filming this. He was an old man.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive. And he had been like a stunt double for a long time. So long that, in fact, his credits include doubling for John Wayne, Clark Gable, and Lee fucking Marvin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
A hoss.
I was looking up his some of his filmography on Wikipedia,
and also still alive today.
Yeah, 91.
Yeah,
hell yeah. So Sands of Iwo Jima, which would be the John Wayne movie, which is one of my favorite John Wayne movies of all time.
Yeah,
that's 1949.
Yeah,
this movie's 1984.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sands of Iwo Jima. I don't know. Did you have some of these listed? I don't want to steal your thunder.
No. Go ahead. That was the bulk of
because I was looking at his list and I was like, holy shit, there's some great stuff here. So
Please
Sands of Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll select some. The Alamo. The 1961, obviously. Planet of the Apes. Escape from New York.
Nice.
Tron.
Ooh.
Starman. Cloak and Dagger. Romancing the Stone. Friday the 13th. That's all boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
There's one that you're going to love very much.
Oh, yeah?
Wild Wild West.
My Wild Wild West?
Your Wild Wild West. X-Files, Gone in 60 Seconds, and Double Take.
Damn. That is awesome. I want to meet him at a convention.
Yeah.
I doubt that he would go to a convention.
I was thinking of Double Team, but no, but Double Take was his
But still,
movie.
Double Take.
Yeah, Double Take. And then, obviously, uncredited with, you said in Part 7, and Silverado.
Oh, nice.
As Hoyt.
Oh.
Not even as uncredited as a stuntman or just stunts.
Nice.
Short Circuit as well.
Oh.
But yeah, a bunch of stuff, man.
Nice. That's cool. Well into his twilight, still doing stunts.
Like I said, he turned 91 on January 25th.
Yeah.
So
happy birthday.
Yeah, man, seriously.
Belated by about
Magnum
3 months.
P.I.
Ooh.
Rockford Files. I was just scanning through here real quick if anything else was going on here, but yeah, but I guess a lot of it is his infuriated with Joseph Zito.
Yeah.
And insensitive towards different actors and actresses on the set. And I guess he was offered the role, but turned it down.
To play it in the next part.
In that's The New Beginning and Jason Lives.
Yeah. He was offered both roles and did not want.
Yeah. I wonder if he had a better experience, he would have.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of New Beginning having a different actor portraying the killer.
That makes sense.
Because spoilers, it's not Jason.
Yes.
Which makes it like my least favorite.
It's bold, but doesn't always mean it has to be right.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. Not. It's
they decided to be bold.
I mean, that's a. Come on.
Yeah. All right. So in the original ending,
yes.
Tommy was actually supposed to decapitate Jason. But they scrapped that just in case.
That would have been poetic.
Yeah, right?
Full circle.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been so cool to see him get decapitated just like Pamela in the first movie. But yeah, so they were like, all right, fine. Just in case we want to be able to write ourselves into another installment, we'll just, we won't decapitate completely.
Yeah.
So that's why we get just the bludgeoning. And also Rob, the camper, was supposed to have some really high-tech tracking device to be able to follow Jason around, but the props looked so dumb that they decided to toss that. Which thank God, that would have been too silly. In its opening week, it did receive $11 million, which made it the 6th highest opening week of the year, or opening weekend, of the year, nice. And 26th highest total gross. The gross I mentioned earlier, what was it, 2.6? Or no, that was the budget.
It was like 33.
Yeah, 33 million. 26th highest of the year. Unfortunately, I didn't, unlike usual, I did not have a list of the other horror movies that came out this year. I do like mentioning that just so you kind of know what else it's going up against, but there's nothing on file.
Nothing like jumps out like 84.
Because that's not The Thing. Yeah.
No.
It's not The Shining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look
while you're looking that up, I'll go on.
Go ahead.
So 25% of critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave this positive review. It averages 4.2 out of 10 on the site.
Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry. I just two movies popped up that were big time.
Oh, yeah?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Gremlins. So those are two. Chud.
Ooh.
Oh, Children of the Corn. Speaking of Stephen King. Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I love that movie.
The Company of Wolves. The Toxic Avenger. Firestarter again. The Stephen King.
Stephen King. Yeah.
The Terminator, which that's not.
It's not really a horror movie, but okay.
Horror.
If you're afraid of technology, it is.
Yeah. There's some people who are. Now we're just getting to craziness. Ninja 3: The Domination, which is, I guess, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess, of course, whatchamacallit, Friday, the Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, you get the birth of another genre. Yeah. Of another, genre, defining.
Yeah.
Piece.
So yeah. Then Siskel and Ebert, friends of the show, Siskel and Ebert,
yes,
called it an immoral and reprehensible piece of trash.
Yeah.
One of the few positive things that I could find that critics wrote about it is I think later, not when it came out. Because it was in Entertainment Weekly. I don't think Entertainment Weekly started until much later. But Kyle Anderson of Entertainment Weekly calls it the best in the series, complimenting both its narrative, its attempts at high end narrative, and its cool kills.
Yeah.
All right. So here's fun facts. I guess, or to close it out. Yeah. Not fun facts, weird facts, things that I care about. So with the rest of the movies, interesting cold opens, fun cold opens, long cold opens usually. So including the recap that starts out the movie, it's 14 minutes and 35 seconds. The recap lasted about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So negating that or taking that out, it's 11 minutes 20 seconds. Location, like in-universe location, was a neighborhood near Crystal Lake. So we still have yet to return to Camp Crystal Lake since the first movie. Mm-hmm. Timeline, we've finally caught up with present day with this one, actually. 1984.
About damn time.
Yeah. So anyone that remembers, Part 2 jumps ahead 5 years ish. Jumps ahead 5 years, which means Part 2 and Part 3 all take place in the future from when the movie was released. So when you're sitting in the theater watching this, you're looking at the future. You have finally caught up to modern day, present day in this movie. And then we get another time jump in the next movie. So kill count in the movie, 14 people die. Jason kills 13 of them because, of course,
pretty good ratio.
Yeah. So total kills for Jason in the series so far, 33. Total kills overall.
And it made $33 million.
Total kills overall for the entire series, including other people killing other people, 44.
So it's not bad. I mean, 33 of those 44.
Yeah.
So what, 11 difference?
Yeah, 10 people, or 9 people killed by Pamela Voorhees, 2 people killed by...
The Voorhees have killed 42 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah, go you. Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
Best
Wait,
kill.
we have to connect on Snake Eyes. What the fuck are we doing?
Best kill, Jake.
Okay, my favorite, the best kill is the head with the saw and spinning it around. But my favorite, for just total, like, Jason's not having any of it, bullshit, is when he throws What's-Her-Face out the window.
Yeah.
That's a crazy stunt, too. But
It
throwing
is.
her out the window, he's like,
Not the girl tumbling out the window,
No,
landing
no.
on the ground. This is the girl that he kills.
He grabs through the window, throws her out the window, no
lands
objects.
on a car.
Yeah.
Windows explode.
The entire thing.
Yeah.
Classic. But yeah, that's probably my favorite just because it's absurd.
Okay. Which one am I going to go with? I think I'll play it safe and I'll go with the first kill.
Yeah, it's the most iconic in the movie.
Axel is the character's name.
Axel.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Lamest kill? Worst kill?
What's his face? The camper guy getting killed in the basement.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the garden hower.
Yes, I mean, granted, the mom, I guess, technically isn't even a kill we see, so that's lame. But
well, I usually disqualify that because we don't see the death.
Yeah,
like sure, that's lame.
I was gonna say again the names. I'm terrible with the character names, but I was gonna say what's her face when you just like all through the shadows outside, but then you get the
twin, the first twin
like stuck to the wall.
Yeah,
that was a nice.
So I liked that because of the creative way that it was shot. Using silhouette. But I agree with you that it's like,
but no, for me,
it is redeemed when she gets.
For me, lamest though is camper guy. Because all of it's done in shadow. I mean, it's to save money, obviously, but it's all done in shadow.
I might agree with you on that one. I was just looking through the list of kills, and I do feel like we need to give an honorable mention. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to switch my vote. I'm not because it's the easy vote to give Axel the best kill.
Yes,
I'm going to switch it to Sarah, who is the girl that gets the axe thrown through the door into her chest.
Good one.
That's
because
that one got the biggest response from me while we were watching.
That's also the one that like you think she's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
because she's like the virgin in the beginning,
and out of the group of friends, she totally has the survival girl archetype.
Yeah,
but then as soon as she dies, you're like, oh right, there's the fucking Jarvises. They're gonna live. Yeah. So and then lamest kill, I think I'm gonna go with spear to the groin.
Interesting, because like that one could have been more.
Although no,
but it was pretty good though.
No, I'll take it back because he does like lift him up.
That's
pretty metal
with his peen through his peen.
You know what? I'm gonna go meta with this one, and I'm gonna say because she almost because she got hypothermia, I'm gonna go with Samantha in the raft.
Yeah.
Because that sucks. She shouldn't have to. Shouldn't have to deal with that.
She does make some good guttural noises.
Yeah. So let's see. Moving on from that. So killing spree. Now this one was a little tough for me to decide because I like to measure the killing spree. So like I will argue that the killing spree had a false start.
Okay.
So originally, I was like, "Oh, the killing spree starts when Samantha gets, killed on the raft," and that's at 43 minutes 40 seconds. But then, like, it doesn't. The next couple deaths don't have that spree, feel to them. They're really well paced out. I mean, granted, it's 47 or it's about 48 minutes for when Paul gets speared in the groin, which is only like 5 minutes later. And then just another handful of minutes for when Terry, the twin, gets speared and then thrown against the door. But then it's another 10 minutes before the next death happens, whereas the next several deaths all happen within 15 minutes. And that's like 6 deaths in 15 minutes. So that's what I'm going to go with for the killing spree.
Okay.
So it starts with Jimmy, Crispin Glover's character, getting corkscrewed.
That's a pretty good death, too, like in the face.
Yeah, corkscrewed in the hand and then meat cleaved in the face.
Yeah.
And then crucified on the door. That happens at an hour, 1 minute, and 6 seconds.
Okay.
And then I conclude the killing spree with the final, with Jason's final kill, which makes sense. With Rob, the camper, with the garden hower.
Yeah.
Or however you pronounce that. At an hour, 15 minutes, and 40 seconds, with the math coming out to being 14 minutes and 34 seconds for 6 deaths. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Survivors, Tommy and Trish. That's it.
Yeah.
Who plays Jason in this installment? It is yet another new actor, Ted White, and as we mentioned before, his only foray into it. So keeping up with the tradition of no actors reprising the role in the next installment. Evolution of Jason. I like to talk about like what they add to Jason in each movie. They didn't really do like they messed up his face, but like in part 3 he got the hockey mask.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's the classic look.
Yeah. They did make his hands look really funky in this one. Like they gave him the long, really dark, like gangrenous nails.
Which is weird because like the whole movie, it's like a bald. Yeah. Jason's bald, but then they take it off and his entire complexion changes.
Yeah.
His mask.
Yeah.
He's like demon looking and zombie looking and corpse like.
So yeah. So not a whole lot of real, like what I would call evolution to Jason. He basically stays the same as he was in the last movie, which kind of makes sense because it only happens a day later.
Yeah.
And the only real evolution between 2 and 3 was he got the hockey mask. Weapons used. This was quite a bit because for 1 and 1, this was kind of so far. I think this was the most kills in a single movie, and each kill almost had its own weapon. So we had a surgical hacksaw, scalpel, knife, spear. I think the spear was used 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
Corkscrew, window in a parked car.
Yes. That's why it's the best.
Hands, axe, garden hour, and then machete.
Machete.
Although the machete was used to kill Jason, not used by Jason to kill anybody. Jake, any of these characters stand out as someone that did not deserve to die? I can think of a couple.
Well,
I don't know how much you've listened to previous episodes. Based on my rubric of the morality of the Friday the 13th franchise.
Yes.
So we got fornicators, assholes, drug and alcohol users. Those are the people that deserve to die.
Yeah.
Everyone else is what I consider innocents who don't deserve to die, but ultimately did.
Now, this might be controversial because she does break the rule. Because she does fornicate.
Yeah.
But what's her name in the shower? I think it's sad because she has that line where she's like, I think I'm in love, and she's like the best moment of her life. She's not this like
she's not just hoeing around town.
Yeah.
And it's a big buildup. It's the Sydney same storyline as the Sydney from Scream, just to make more parallels to Scream in this movie.
And so her thing, it's like that's a bummer.
Yeah.
You know, but again, she breaks the rule.
Yeah, she has sex.
But yeah, there's nobody I think that
for the most part except for Trish and Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah.
Everyone,
if Trish would have died, that would have been unfair.
Yeah. But like pretty much everyone is either a fornicator or an alcohol user in this movie.
Oh, you know what? Who doesn't deserve to die? Hitchhiker.
Yeah,
she didn't break it.
She just wanted a ride and a banana.
Yeah, she didn't break any of the rules.
Yeah. Well, she did say "fuck you."
She did. Yeah, that's right. She did say, "Fuck you," then. Hitchhiker.
But I don't think that constitutes.
No,
as
she
her
she
being
didn't
an
break
asshole.
the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. We the one asshole we had was Teddy. Want to give Teddy Bear a kiss?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. As soon as he started talking, I was like, well, I want him to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much the entire cast, except for the hitchhiker, is fornicators or drug and alcohol users. I would agree. The hitchhiker, she didn't deserve to die.
Also, Axel and them never actually.
Yeah, I was
fornicated.
I was about to say Nurse Morgan.
Yes.
Apparently is her character name.
Yeah.
I would lean towards her being an innocent as well.
Yes.
Axel.
Well, no, Axel's he falls under the dick.
He's an asshole. And a skis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you know who also didn't deserve to die? Jason.
Yeah.
He's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
How many times that dude got to die?
Yeah. He just wants his mom. He just misses his mommy.
He's mom's boy.
Yeah. So how is the killer defeated? He is macheted the fuck up.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And then the twist, how does he come back? Well, in this one, he doesn't. He dead.
Yeah, he dead.
He dead. And so
this is the end of your podcast. There's no more podcasts to do.
Yeah, done. No future episodes.
Yeah,
because that was the final chapter. Until we come to Jason: A New Beginning.
Yes,
Part 5. That one, for those of you that don't know, is a weird one, in my opinion. We have a time jump because the character Tommy Jarvis comes back, but not the actor Corey Feldman. We see him as I believe he's supposed to be in his teens, like high school age.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very different type of story. So to be honest, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it because they in that one they try to be bold.
Yes,
I believe you said that.
They try. I mean, like I said, being bold doesn't always necessarily mean right.
Yeah, I feel like
or good.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of got stuck. I mean, we'll talk about this in the next episode, where I believe we will have a friend of the show, Samuel, ringleader of this crazy circus we call Geek Out.
Indeed.
And we'll talk about the craziness of Part 5, A New Beginning. But is there anything you want to?
No,
mention?
I mean, I think it's
anything you want to plug. Any new podcasts you're on?
No, man. Just
any new movies you're in.
I am in I was gonna be Jason in the canceled Jason film.
I
think one of the reasons they canceled is because I am a tiny man. That would have been ridiculous. Way too many soapboxes and actors standing in ditches.
I mean, it would have been like Tom Cruise playing
Tom Cruise, or yeah. No, I mean, I this is the one I enjoy this one. I mean, my favorite. I will just say, well, no, I don't want to spoil it for people who don't know. I will just say my favorite Jason moment of all time takes place in Jason Takes Manhattan. But and it's not even a kill.
No.
But you're
not going to be my co-host for that.
I'm not, so I'm not going to spoil it. I think you know what it is.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it enough times. But I enjoy the go from the poster. I enjoy the story of Ted White. His career, I enjoy.
I feel like
how he stood up for the actors.
Reading up on Ted White made me enjoy this movie so much more. Like, because this one, it wasn't like a low point for me in the series, but it wasn't. It also wasn't one that really stood out.
It's really not great. I mean, and we've talked about that with the Jason movies. I think that's what led you to redoing this. Is going look, there are some good ones here. I have to filter it through the Jason. Movie making.
I mean, Chad, who I had on part 2. We talked about it on the show. Like, he and I worked together, and we used to make fun of each other because I was a Freddy Krueger guy and he was a Jason guy, and I was like, "How can you like these terrible movies?"
Yeah. And now you're doing a podcast about all of
them. I played the game and I watched a couple of the movies, and I was like, these actually do have some gems in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they're not great.
Sometimes you got to look. You got to really look.
You got to dig.
But it's fine. It's in the Jason Friday the 13th filter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's got its moments.
Yeah. Well, so then with that being said, it's time to gather around the campfire and sing Kumbaya. We'll see you next summer for Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. And by next summer, I mean next month. Bye.